To this Monday's April 13th regular council meeting in Summerland. So, Corporate Officer, we're looking at adoption of minutes.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have two sets of minutes for adoption, the special council meeting minutes of March 16th and the regular council meeting minutes of March 23rd.
Thank you. Council, any errors or omissions? Hearing none, I have a motion to accept, please. Thank you. Seconder? Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, Corporate Officer, resolutions to amend the agenda?
Yeah, thank you. There were a few amendments to tonight's meeting agenda. So what I did this afternoon was I amended the first 6 pages of the regular meeting agenda to incorporate those amendments. So under this resolution to adopt the agenda, we have 4 amendments tonight, and when we come to those items, that's when we'll deal with them. But I'll just quickly go over them here. There is 2 proposed amendments for items 10.2 and 10.3. 10.2 is the FortisBC agreement for the supply of electricity wholesale service, and that will be deferred. And also the FortisBC shared use agreement will also be deferred.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to have the agenda adopted as amended, please? Councillor Traynor, Councillor Peak, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Carried.
If I could just add, Mr. Mayor, I also have 2 items that to add to tonight's meeting agenda. First one is under item 11.2, the terms of reference for the Cultural Plan Task Force, and item 11.3 is discussion brought forward from Councillor Doug Holmes on the Summerland Secondary School French immersion classes.
So it looks like I jumped the gun there a little bit, did I?
That's fine.
Okay.
We will deal with the items when we come to them.
Okay, thank you. So we're on to our delegations, I believe. So we have Megan Lindell, the Goodwill Shakespeare Festival. Megan. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. My name is Megan Lindo, and I am the newly elected president of the Goodwill Shakespeare Festival. We are going into our 15th year here in Summerland, and tonight I am here to ask the council and mayor to please support us financially this year with a donation of either $500 or up to $1,000. So that is the purpose of being here tonight, and also to show you our wonderful festival. So I have a video presentation. It's a highlight from last year's festival, which was our 14th year. And this I've been showing to different groups. And I think you'll find, especially the ending, you will just see how much joy these kids have in coming to our lovely community for this festival.
totally. So yeah, so it's not just about saying like, oh, it's my turn, I say my line, but making sure like, does the next person know that it's their turn, and I like officially, like literally, like throw the ball, pass the ball to that next person.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So as you can see, the kids absolutely love this festival. Just some quick notes about it. We have 300 students from all over BC who come to Summerland. And this is huge. It's not even just the festival side of it. Culturally, for Summerland, this has a really big impact. We've talked, sometimes, oh, well, maybe we should move it to Penticton, or maybe we should try Kelowna or somewhere, maybe there's somewhere different. And there is no other place that this festival could be held. Summerland is perfect for it. There's nowhere else that you will have kids who will go from workshop to workshop without getting lost in the town. They know where to go. They love this community. They love the business support. And one of the greatest things, especially culturally, is Summerland's name is just, it's bright with these kids. They love their memories from here. There is at least 4 years. We have kids that come back every single year in high school. And also because this festival, it's not just the high school kids. The middle school gets a special day. And it's just for them, middle school kids. They get to have their own mini Shakespeare Fest. And just what these kids accomplish. This festival is an absolute gem of this community. It is one of the only non-competitive theater and arts festivals. Kids come and they just get to be themselves, and they get to express themselves. They get to try something new, and it's all here in our community, and that is absolutely amazing. It goes with kids for years. I know personally, because I was in Australia. I was in a random hostel in Australia, and I met a girl, and we started talking, and she goes, well, I'm from Vanderhoof. And I said, well, I'm from Summerland, and I know Vanderhoof. And she goes, Summerland? So Shakespeare Fest. And I went, you are kidding me. And she goes, no, I went to Shakespeare Fest. I loved Shakespeare Fest. And that, you meet any kid over the last 15 years who has gone to Shakespeare Festival, and they have some story of how it has changed their lives. We have letters, and I didn't bring them tonight because I did not want to cry in front of the Council of Summerland. But there is one absolutely beautiful one where the boy thanks us for saving his life because he was able to have something bright and burning inside of him that he could express at this festival. It's an absolute gem and culturally is so important to Summerland and could not be held anywhere else. And so that is why I am here asking for the support of the Summerland Council. I don't want to see this festival go anywhere. And as many of you know, I mean, festivals are not easy to keep going. We fight every year to make sure we have the funds and to keep the price low for the kids. But it is worth it because every year we sell out. We're sold out this year. We have 300 students coming Mother's Day long weekend, you know, to Summerland, and they are excited about it to absolutely no way we could describe it. It's an absolutely incredible thing, and I would really love it if the council could support us this year to help us get another year in, because I want to see this grow. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any questions?
Thank you, Megan.
All right, awesome, thanks.
With a pitch like that, I'm glad you didn't ask for more. Any questions or Councillor Holmes?
Thank you, and my son actually attended the festival when he was in middle school, and it was probably the single reason that he decided to take drama in high school, so it's had an impact on their own family. Could you tell us a bit about the governance structure of their society? Are you a registered society, and how
Yeah, right.
and how the board works and everything?
We're a registered society. That's that number, yes. Yes,
So
we
how-
are. We are a registered society.
And then who are the members? How did you become president?
In complete and total honesty, I didn't even know I was running. We have Linda Bevan. We also have David Kopp, Sandra Richardson, right? Barbara. Yeah, you can. You probably know more names than I do, and we also have Nancy Johnson, and I'm going to forget the teacher's name from the middle school.
The names aren't necessarily important. I just
Oh.
want to know how the governance structure works. How do you become a member?
We got together at our AGM, and I was asked. There was me and my father had both expressed, because we just love this festival, want to see it grow. So we had expressed an interest in taking more of a role in it. And Linda Bevan kindly asked, "Well, would you like to be president?" And I said, "Okay, I'll throw my name in." There were not a lot of other names to be thrown, so I got it. And it's very easy to join. You can just say, "I want to be a part of it," and volunteer and come and be a part of the festival.
Could you tell us what other fundraising efforts you've done and how that's going?
We have approached the Rotary Club of Summerland. We did have an agreement with them a couple years ago that they were our main sponsor, and they have agreed to come back on side to be our main sponsor this year. So this year it is the Rotary Goodwill Shakespeare Festival. We've also started a GoFundMe campaign so that if there are individuals who want to be able to donate just small amounts, then they can do that as well. We approach businesses for sponsorship. We have a couple of Penticton businesses actually who have come on side for a few, it's smaller amounts, but it's still sponsorship, so we're happy for it. And the credit union is they've been a sponsor every single year, no questions asked. And also the Chamber of Commerce helps support us most every year. So we kind of have our basic go-to people that we go to every year. And then I also spearhead larger campaigns to try and bring on bigger sponsors every year.
Just one more.
Go ahead.
With 300 students coming every year for the past 15 years, you must be thousands of people out there who have gone through this program. I know my university alma mater is constantly hitting me up for donations. Do you hit them up for donations? So some of these people must be making quite a bit of money right now.
We're starting to. That's why we went with the GoFundMe campaign this year, to have an actual base that they could donate to. So we're definitely trying to get the word out to everyone we know who has been through the Shakespeare Festival to let them know that they can now give back to the new students coming through.
Thank you, Megan. I
Thanks.
guess considering your request to our CFO, what can we do?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In the grant and aid budget for 2015, There's an amount remaining in the unallocated funds of $5,000. So that money's available for council to allocate.
So what's council's wish? Councillor Peak?
Could I propose a resolution to put $1,000 towards the Goodwill Shakespeare for 2015?
Yes, you may. Do you have a seconder? Councillor Trainer? So corporate officer, have you got that down? Okay. All in favor? Well, we could discuss it, yes, sorry, okay. I thought we had done quite a bit of that, but anyway, go ahead.
I mean, I think this is a, obviously the festival is a great asset to the community. I think council has a role to help support, get things going. After 15 years, I'd hope a festival such as this would be self-sustaining. And so I don't know if they have kind of sort of a strategic plan to make sure that the festival can keep going year after year after year. I think I would like to see something like that. If the festival comes back in the future, asking for this kind of funding. 1,000, it is quite a bit. I would just like to see more of an effort for them to support themselves.
The only counter I have to that, Councillor Holmes, is that the description we just had was, I thought, fairly good evidence of a pretty strenuous effort on their behalf to hit businesses and talk to us and many other groups as well as Rotary. And the fact that they've been going strongly for 15 years speaks well to that. In addition, though, when we look at our strategic plan and what we've decided to include in our strategic plan this year, and that is an emphasis on arts and culture, plus we're in the process, and you'll see tonight, of struck a task force on preparing a cultural plan. So, I think we've got to get up to the plate with respect to our own planning and our own strategic plan in regards to arts and culture. And I'm sure the community in this particular instance, could easily take that in mind and move ahead with their own. So I think, we have to demonstrate as well, which I think we are in the process of doing. So did anybody else have a comment? Councillor Peak?
I'd like to say I'm pleased with the presentation. Certainly when the Chamber was here and did their last presentation to us, they identified that the Goodwill Shakespeare Festival is a festival that could certainly be broadened in scope and allow for the opportunity for adults throughout the BC to come and do writers and all kinds of great things. So perhaps in working together with the Goodwill Shakespeare and, as the Mayor has mentioned, Cultural Task Force, perhaps we can create a greater emphasis, because I certainly appreciate what the Councillor Holmes has to say, which is Council's role is really a little different than to just give out funds. Seed money's good, but if we work along with the community, we can do some great things. So thank you for coming forward, Megan.
Thank you very much. So any more discussion? Hearing none, a motion to award these funds. Councillor Peak?
Yes.
Seconder, please. Councillor Trainer? All in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you. So, we're up for the next delegation. So we have Margaret Haller and Barbara Thorburn discussing Earth Week.
Yes. Good evening, Mayor Waterman, council members, and staff. Nice to be here. We came to talk to you about Summerland Earth Week. Earth Week runs from April 19th this year to April 26th. And we'd like to first thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk to you about the 6th annual Summerland Earth Week. Earth Day, which is April 22nd on every year, and Earth Week are the largest international ecological festivals. Millions of people throughout the world celebrate these important festivals by learning more about ecological sustainability, or by actions that create a more environmental world. Here in Summerland, we are fortunate that a large group of volunteers put on a week of events that promote education and action to make a more ecologically sustainable community here in Summerland. We have the most events in Canada of any one community, and all of the events that we offer to our residents, and of course all residents in the South Okanagan, are free. I just wanted to point out that we're running a video in the background, and it really just highlights some of our previous year's events. The celebration of Earth Day began in Summerland 9 years ago with Earth Day celebration, an event that focuses primarily on habitat restoration. Many volunteer hours have been spent on removing invasive plants, replanting native species, restoring our waterways, and painting fish signs on sewers. 6 years ago, a decision was made to extend this festival by promoting a whole range of other activities and other events, including street fairs to highlight alternative transport, in other words, non-fuel consuming transportation, documentary films about climate change and other ecological concerns, workshops to promote water conservation and food security, energy-efficient home tours, philosophers' cafes on food security, peak oil, preserving grasslands, many craft activities such as mason beehives for children to promote their awareness and the importance of our natural environment. These are only actually a few of the things that we've offered. Each year we try to offer a new set of events to keep it interesting for our residents. In each case, the focus was on action, pledging to use less water or fuel, adding rain barrels, growing a vegetable garden, insulating a home better, many, many examples. We create awareness and let people know how to create change. The other thing we'd like to point out is that, in addition, we focus on collaboration and cooperation between different sectors in our community, including our arts community, the library, environmental science group, farmers, Friends of the Ornamental Gardens, business groups like the Chamber, and individual businesses which support and offer events and provide prizes for the many events that we put on. Many individual residents also give hours and hours of their expertise to educate Summerlanders and people from the South Okanagan on how to be more ecologically sustainable.
Okay, so this year's theme is One Community, One Environment. And while this theme could be interpreted as we are one part, it can be interpreted as we are one part of the global community. It can also mean that change starts at home, in your home community. Often people understand better how to make individual changes such as walk to work twice a week or mulch your garden to conserve water. So if we all work at making our own community sustainable, we, by extension, have an effect on the entire world. Every year we feature different events. This year, one of our new events is Earth Day by the Water. It's on Earth Day, which is Wednesday, April 22nd, and it's going to be held at Peach Orchard Park. We'll have displays about the importance of water conservation and its impact on wildlife, particularly fish. And we also have a great historical and riparian walk along the waterfront where people can learn about the historical significance of Summerland and of the lower town, and as well as how important our creeks and marsh areas are to our ecology. We are also having an interesting philosophers' cafe on the importance of Western science and traditional ecological knowledge by a native elder and an ecologist, and they will be discussing sustainability. We have a full description of our events on the handouts that you've just received, and on our Summerland Earth Week Facebook page, as well as on the Summerland District website, which thank you very much for that. We invite all of Summerland residents out to our council out to come out and enjoy the events. And finally, we'd like to thank the municipality for their sponsorship of Earth Week through the two subcommittees, the Climate Action Committee and the Community Advocacy Committee. Our thanks also go out to the municipal staff and the many volunteers of the organizations who make this event such a successful one in Summerland. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Council have any questions, don't go away, ladies. You may be asked to respond to some questions. Any questions from council?
I don't really have a question, but I just have to congratulate you. I think your organizational skills are amazing, and the community certainly welcomes the efforts and the activities you put on during that week. So good idea.
Well, thank you
Good
very
on
much. There's a lot of people involved, and on behalf of all of them, I thank you.
Anybody else? No? Well, I would like to thank you as well for coming and presenting, and appreciate the slideshow. And we'll look forward to the 19th. So thank you very much. So we're moving forward to number 5, public
Yep,
comment.
Public comment opportunity.
Okay. So now's we have a 15-minute chunk of time that's allocated, but not necessarily used for the public to make comment on any agenda item that is highlighted in the agenda. These are items that do not already include a time or an allotment for public comment. So any agenda item that's highlighted here, you have an opportunity, if you so wish, to make some comments. So is there anybody from the public who wishes to speak on anything on the agenda? Nothing. So there will be opportunities at the end of the meeting, the last 15 minutes, for anybody who wishes to speak on any item that might be of a nature that's related to governance and with the municipality. So you have that opportunity at the end of the meeting as well, and I know we have one individual that would like to speak up. So with that, hearing no requests for time, I'll move on to my mayor's report. Okay, all set. First, I am delighted to introduce our new Chief Administrative Officer, Linda Tynan. Welcome, Linda. She's just joined us at the end of March. Linda comes to us with an impressive list of credentials. She was recently the CAO for NACUSP. Prior to that, the Chief Financial Officer for Nelson, and is also a certified general accountant. In addition, she has been the Chief Executive Officer for the Kootenai School of the Arts. I think we're going to be pretty heavy to financial people here, given we've got Councillor Barkwell as just as qualified. So it has been a whirlwind of introductions to staff at a special barbecue organized by Karen Jones and our Chief Cook, Rick Liardo. Also, I gave her a tour of Summerland from one end to the other, including a special roadside seminar of tree fruit horticulture, whether she wanted it or not. During the past 3 weeks since our last council meeting, we've had an excellent council team building session led by facilitator Dan Dinsmore on Saturday, March 28th. In addition, 2 select committees have been active. One, a select committee on the OCP, composed of Councillor Boot, Councillor Traynor, and myself, with recommendations coming forward to council soon. The second select committee, concerned with restructuring our committees, is composed of Councillor Peak, Councillor Holmes, and myself. The first set of recommendations will come forward tonight with the list of Cultural Task Force members and the terms of reference. This task force will formulate a cultural plan in collaboration with arts and culture groups in the community. The cultural plan is critical as arts and culture are a key pillar in Council's 4-pillar strategic plan. Council also had a special meeting with our new school district board led by board chair Linda Van Alphen. This was an introductory meeting to be followed by more strategic meetings in the future. Also, as you can see from myself and the councillors and I guess all the staff, I think, April is Daffodil Month and is the Canadian Cancer Society's national fundraising campaign. There are not too many people that have not been affected by cancer either directly or indirectly. So wear your daffodil to show your support. April is also National Organ and Tissue Donor Awareness Month. Right now there are 465 British Columbians waiting for a transplant. 326 transplants were performed in 2014, If you'd like to be an organ donor, please go online to www.transplant.bc.ca. That is my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Next, we have the CAO's report.
I don't have a very long report today, thank you.
Yep, you haven't been here for very long.
Thank you for my introduction, Mr. Mayor. Just to say, my activities today have really been to meet with the directors and getting up to speed with the district initiatives and issues. I'm delighted to be here. We worked through putting the agenda together this week, and it's a very large agenda, so I was able to expose to a number of things that are going on, and meeting next week with the chamber, and looking forward to meeting with many more members of the chamber.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, do we have any correspondence?
No correspondence tonight.
Thank you.
So next, we have a number of reports from the Development Services Department, and the first one, item 9.1, is a zoning OCP amendment application for 4816 Nixon Road. And tonight, this will be introduction of the amendment and as well the first reading of that bylaw.
Okay, thank you. I think we're Director of Corporate or Development Services, Mr. McIntosh, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is approximately just less than a 6-acre site, 2.3 hectares at the south end of Nixon Road in the Trout Creek area. The property is designated as agricultural on our official community plan and is zoned agriculture in our zoning bylaw, but is not located within the agricultural land reserve, and it is in the heart of a residential area. The property is in two development permit areas. It's adjacent to Trout Creek, so it falls within our watercourse development permit area. A significant part of the site is undeveloped, and it is in the environmentally sensitive development permit area, so 2 development permits will be required when we get to that point. An environmental assessment was done of the property in support of the rezoning application, and you can see on that site that there is significant areas of ESA 1, which is significant environmental value, and that's primarily due to Lewis's woodpecker habitat there, which is a protected species. So this is an image showing the areas of red and orange are the ESA 1 and 2, and the yellows and greens are the areas that are available for development. So the proposal is for an 11-lot subdivision in the RSD2 zone, 650 square meter minimum, which would allow a significant portion of the lot to remain as preservation area and will be dedicated as park in due course. And the application, we're recommending that it get first reading, proceed to public hearing, and that it be any adoption of the bylaw be subject to a restrictive covenant registered on the title of the property, that the site be developed in accordance with the plan you see before you, including the dedication of the park area.
Thank you very much. So, Corporate Officer, I understand we're dealing with this as 3 separate resolutions tonight?
3 separate, yes.
Yes, okay, so we'll be dealing with the first one, bylaw 2003-10. So do you wish to read that?
Yeah, it is an amendment to the OCP bylaw 2003-10. It is introduction of bylaw 2015-007 to change the OCP designation of lot 22, plan 310, located at 4816 Nixon Road, from agricultural to low-density residential, be introduced and given first reading, and that bylaw 2015-10 to amend the zoning bylaw 2004-50 to rezone lot 22, plan 310, located at 4816 Nixon Road, from A1 agricultural small acreage zone to RSD2 residential large lot, be introduced and given first reading. And further, that adoption of the bylaw amendments be considered in conjunction with the Section 219 covenant.
Thank you. So we'll deal with this separately. Council, you have any questions of planner? Councillor Peak?
Yes, Ian, could you speak to the minimum lot size and the size of the lots in the subdivisions?
The minimum lot size, Mr. Mayor, in the RSD2 zone is 650 square meters. All of the lots proposed meet or exceed that minimum. I don't have the exact sizes of the lots, but they are predominantly larger than the minimum size.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? So could I have a mover of the recommendation, please? Resolution, Councillor Peak. Seconder, please. Councillor Holmes. So, any further discussion at all? Okay, can we have the vote, please? All in favor? Thank you. The first phase of this is carried then. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The second recommendation is bylaw 2015-11 to amend OCP bylaw 2014-002, which is currently at third reading, to change the designation of Lot 22, Plan 310, located at 4816 Nixon Road, from agricultural to low-density residential, be introduced and given first reading.
Thank you. Any questions of the planner at this point? I guess we've pretty much had our opportunity. Any discussion? No? I guess I'd just like to say that it's, you know, even though this was agriculture, as you pointed out, Mr. Planner, the area is designated overall as residential and within a residential area. I think it's certainly excellent that we're adhering to the environmentally sensitive aspect of this property, so I commend the developer and you in terms of dealing with it in this manner. So can we have a mover of this resolution, please? Do you have to state it first? You've done that.
No, yeah,
You've done
just that's the second
Okay.
recommendation. There's a third, but we'll deal with this one first.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Peak, Councillor Booth, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Motion is carried. So now we're on to number 3.
Yeah, lastly, yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A public hearing be scheduled for bylaws 2015-007, 2015-10, and 2015-11 to take place on Monday, April the 27th, 2015.
Motion to accept, please. Mover, Councillor Peak, Councillor Holmes, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Yes. That'll be at a regular council meeting on the 27th?
Yes, it is.
That's correct, okay. Thank you, motion's carried. Thank you. So we're moving on to 9.2.
Yes, item 9.2 is a zoning amendment for 2705 Johnson Street, and I will refer that to our Director of Development Services.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
This is a zoning bylaw amendment to have a site-specific rezoning to allow for the boarding of up to 5 dogs on the subject property, which, as a home occupation, which is located about 300 meters west of the intersection of Johnson Street and Highway 97 in the Trout Creek neighborhood. It is zoned country residential at the moment, which does not permit the keeping of more than 2 dogs as pets on the property. There is a lady who used to have a holistic dog care business in an agricultural parcel. Now they have moved to this residential or country residential parcel. They wish to carry on their business. And if that is to be permitted, the best course of action is to allow a site-specific zoning that would still fall under the rules of the home occupation, but would allow for the boarding of up to 5 dogs, including their own pets. And the home occupation rules require that the business be conducted totally indoors.
Thank you. Any questions of our planner, please, from council? Councillor Holmes.
Do the neighbors get notification of the public hearing?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the notification has been sent out and there will be a sign posted as well.
Okay. Councillor Peak.
And my question was the circulation as well. Is get my tongue in order. Is it a distance from the dwellings that you circulate, or how is that circulation established?
It's a distance from the property boundaries, so within 30 meters of the 4 corners of the property is the radius that we use for circulation purposes.
Thank you very kindly.
Thank you. So, right now, in country residential, this is a prohibited use.
That is correct, Mr. Mayor.
Now, in addition to that, this, if this were to go forward, then that actually is attached to the property, correct?
That is correct.
So if the ownership changed, then it changes, nothing changes as far as this particular specified use goes.
That's correct. If this were to proceed and be approved, then that property shown on the screen could have this use until such time as council could change the zoning, but it would still be grandfathered until it stopped for a period of 6 months. So it does go with the property.
So in terms of the 5 dogs or canines in this particular instance, these are overnight at the premises, within the premises somehow?
That is correct.
So is that open to interpretation at all as we move forward?
Staff try and be reasonable, but the bylaw regulation stipulates that home occupations must be conducted within the home or within an accessory building on the property, so it must be inside.
Thank you. Any further questions? Councillor Trainer.
Can I just clarify that you said that it would be inside only?
That is what the home occupation regulations require, yes.
So the dogs wouldn't be able to run around in the yard?
Technically, no. If they were out, it's for my understanding is it's for a medical situation for pets. So if they had to be walked around out on the property, I don't know that we would have a huge concern, but the business requires that it be kept indoors.
Okay.
Okay, Councillor Peak.
Quick question. In circulation, did we receive any correspondence in regard to the application?
Mr. Mayor, the circulation has just gone out in preparation for the public hearing that will be held 2 weeks from now.
Then I'll ask
So
my
I don't
question at that time.
expect that we would have received anything yet. I haven't received anything yet.
Thank you.
Okay. Are we set for the motion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, would you like me to read the
Yes,
motion?
please go ahead.
That the zoning amendment CR1 Country Residential 1, 2705 Johnson Street, bylaw number 2015-008 be introduced and given first reading, and further that a public hearing be scheduled for Monday, April the 27th, 2015.
Thank you. So do we have a mover and a seconder for that, please? Councillor Holmes, Councillor Trainer, thank you. Now for some discussion. Any discussion from council? Councillor Booth,
Just one question of a few
question or discussion?
question. And I know
You had your opportunity.
I don't have any questions.
I don't have a problem of moving this to public hearing, but I'm quite concerned about site-specific situations, because if this, is to be outdoors and the interpretation for 5 canines is applicable in this particular case, if ownership changed to the property, I anticipate that there could be refinements or enlargements of the number of animals that may be allowed or that could be there, and perhaps have an impact on the neighborhood. And then it changes somewhat, and of course it depends on the broadness of the site-specific zoning, I think, in terms of how that may be interpreted in the future, as to whether that might be more dogs or outdoor dogs, or if it's a building, is it, are they kennels with outdoor runs and these sorts of things, because those aspects of the kennel start to have an impact on the neighborhood. So I guess that's where I sit, but I don't have a problem with moving this forward to the public hearing and hear what the public has to say on it. So we'll have a motion to we'll move that along then. All in favor, please? Thank you. Against? None, of course. Motion's carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Next item, 9.3, minor text amendments to our zoning bylaw 2004-50, and I will refer that to our Director of Development Services.
Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through the administration of the zoning bylaw, every so often there are some inconsistencies that show up or things that got missed inadvertently when the bylaw was adopted. So in this particular case, we have 5 minor amendments to aid in the administration of the bylaw that we'd like council's consideration on. I can go through them one at a time and have you ask questions if you like, or we can proceed with all of them.
Can we just interrupt you when we get past a certain point?
Certainly.
My memory won't work well enough to go back to number 1 from the end, so.
So the first one is to allow above-grade patios to project into setbacks. This is a very odd situation where if your patio is on the ground, it can project into setbacks. If it's a balcony, it can project into setbacks, but if it's between a balcony and the ground patio, it isn't captured and cannot project into setbacks. So that is an oversight and it was not intended. So the proposed amendment is to add above-grade patios and allow them to project as the same as a balcony would.
Okay.
The second one is to add a lot coverage regulation to farm buildings in the A1 and A2 zones. And in this particular case, another oversight, we have a maximum lot coverage for all the buildings that are part of the residential component of a farm. We have a lot coverage maximum if there's a nursery or a greenhouse large building at 65%. And the previous bylaw had a limitation of 10% lot coverage for all other agricultural buildings, and that appears to have been missed when the new zoning bylaw was adopted. So this amendment would restore that limitation of a 10% maximum if you're not a greenhouse or not a nursery building to other agricultural buildings in the 2 agricultural zones.
So we're catching up with ourselves.
Yes.
Thank you.
So essentially, prior to this, the 65% encompassed.
Mr. Mayor, that only applied if it was a greenhouse or a nursery. So essentially, there is no limitation for a farm building that is not either a greenhouse or a nursery-related
Gotcha.
building.
Okay.
And there was one previously, so we're restoring that back.
Okay, thank you.
The third one is a conflict relating to building height for additional dwellings for farm help. Our current zoning bylaw says that you can have an additional farm help dwelling that is either 4.5 meters or 1 story. And the intent was it would be 4.5, the lesser of 4.5 meters or 1 story, so that you couldn't have a 8-meter single-story building and still comply. And so that is an oversight that we're hoping to correct. So the new language will say that the farm help dwelling may not exceed the lesser of 4.5 meters or 1 story.
Okay, thank you.
And the fourth one, another anomaly here where we have setbacks for buildings from streets. There has been the odd situation where a garage has a side entrance door, and we don't have a particular regulation that says how far that has to be from a property line other than the minimum 1.5 meters. Obviously, they get set back enough so somebody can make a turn into their garage. But we have had a couple of situations where the garage door met our zoning bylaw and there wasn't really enough room to properly park and access the garage, so people are trespassing over their neighbors. So in this particular case, we're suggesting that a garage door has to be set back 6 meters from either the street or whatever line is perpendicular to the garage door.
Thank you. Sounds to me like somebody could have put a fence up and then you couldn't access,
Exactly.
right? Thank you.
And the last amendment is to increase the lot coverage in the RSD1I, which is our RSD1 intensification zone, to 40%. And that is the same lot coverage that we have in our RSD1 zone and our RSD2 zone. And we did a little bit of research to find out how we ended up with 30% in our RSD1I, and we couldn't find any rationale for why that was. So in our smallest zone, it also had the smallest footprint allowed. So we're recommending that we bring it up to the same standard as our RSD1 and our RSD2 zones at 40%.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the planner from council? No?
Seems very reasonable to me.
Okay. Go ahead.
That's it.
That's it, thank you. Okay, so we're looking at the resolution associated with this.
Yes. Would you like me to read
Sure.
that? That zoning bylaw amendment, minor text amendments, bylaw 2015-009 be introduced and given first reading, and further that a public hearing be scheduled for Monday, April the 27th, 2015.
Mover, please, seconder. Councillor Peak, Councillor Holmes, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Sorry, maybe
Go
I'm
ahead.
jumping the gun here.
Go ahead.
Would you like me to introduce them?
Yep, go ahead, yep.
Next item, 9.4, is a development variance permit application for 4917 Gartrell Road, and I will refer that to our Director of Development Services.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a development variance permit for a property, 9.6 acre parcel of land with an existing winery and a dwelling for farm help located on the premises. It is designated and zoned agriculture in our community plan and our zoning bylaw. It is located within the agricultural land reserve. There's an existing winery on the site, as well as a residence and other farm outbuildings. And there also is an existing farm help dwelling that was permitted under the former zoning regulations. And the request is to remove the mobile home and replace it with a constructed farm help dwelling, which does meet all the requirements of the farm help dwelling construction and size, et cetera. However, it is currently outside the farm home plate, and because it's being removed and replaced, the new siting has to meet the zoning bylaw regulations or receive a variance. So the applicant would like to simply replace the farm help dwelling that he currently has.
Any questions of the planner, please? Councillor Holmes?
Is at the end of the cul-de-sac there, is that a residence?
There, yes, there is, Mr. Mayor, a residence right at the end of the Spruce Avenue cul-de-sac.
And does this go to public hearing, or we're voting on it?
No, Mr. Mayor, development variance permits, they have been circulated to the neighbors, so notifications have gone out, and the applicant is in the gallery. I'm not sure if there's other interested parties or not.
Did we get any response from the neighbor?
I have not received any, Mr. Mayor. No correspondence has been received.
Okay, I can ask for any public comment at this time. Does the owner of the property wish to speak, or anybody else to that matter?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. If you have any question.
Okay, I think we're fine then. Okay, I guess my questions would revolve around the timing and when this mobile was put in place and what were the regulations at the time?
The previous regulations, Mr. Mayor, allowed for any parcel that had 5 acres on the irrigation roll was entitled to a second dwelling for farm help, but it had to be a mobile home.
And has that changed from mobile home to stick?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, what happened with the last zoning regulations, there was a lot of concern from the residents in the area that these mobile homes were often unsightly and they devalued properties. We had a lot of feedback that they would rather not, farm help dwellings would rather not be limited to mobile homes. So with the last updating of the zoning bylaw, the new farm home plate regulations were introduced. As well as that, we tightened up the regulations that would allow farm help dwellings. You had to have a report either from an agrologist or confirmation from the Agricultural Land Commission that a second dwelling is warranted. And we also allowed them to meet the same size requirements, but they could be framed and constructed as opposed to a mobile home.
Okay, during the time, I happened to, know enough personally about this property and that my orchard was virtually adjacent to this property. And so I packed bins up in that area, and all the time that the previous owner owned it, I'd have to say that I never saw any evidence that that was a farm help building. But at any rate, that may not be the case, and I'd like to ask the present owner of the property, what's the status of its use at this point? And could you come to the mic, please?
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. I have to emphasize that there are there are some veteran orchardists in the room, and probably the way they look at it is from the orchardist aspect. There is a huge difference between a winery that runs a vineyard and an orchard. When you run an orchard, then you care about the trees, you take care of them, you cultivate them, and you sell the fruit. As a winery, we spend a significant amount of time working, processing the wine. So we need somebody that will help us doing the cultivation of the vineyard. That's a very, very dramatic difference between an orchard and a vineyard. Secondly, there is no doubt that the wineries in Summerland are a pillar in the economy. They bring tourists, they support the local businesses, they work together with the local businesses, and by nature, because of the relatively short season that we have here compared to other zones like California, the average yield per acre here is about 3 tons per acre compared to 6-7 acres in California. Now, this industry is doing very well, and it's well recognized in the world stage. But if you know, in order to make a good wine, 90% of the quality of the wine is the quality of the grapes. So in order to get that quality, there is an intensive cultivation effort in maintaining the vineyard. It is not just mowing or spraying. It is an intensive work all around the year. I made a short, very conservative report.
You're almost like the rest of us, too much paper to go around.
No, it's easy. That evaluates how many hours the farm worker spent in our vineyard and our small orchard. You don't have to go through the details, because at the end of that document there is a chart that shows the accumulated hours that the farm worker spent every year. Now, I have to emphasize that in the last 11 years that we owned the property, we always had a worker living there, every single day in the last 11 years. And without that help, we couldn't run the vineyard and the winery. Couldn't.
That's why I asked you to come and speak, because there are differences. And the history of this sort of building is not good in this community in terms of how its use pattern is. In fact, they're used as revenue sources essentially for people that really don't work on the orchard at all. And there's been way too much of that. And so in this case, I recognize that you know, the wine operation itself, apart from the cultivation aspect, is a heavy focus, as well as the detail. You know, and there's detail in both types of operations, especially now with more intensive orchards. But the same thing, you know, when you've got an integrated operation as you do, from the vines in the orchard through to your product, and there is more entailed. And I think the fact that you are, you know, this is more or less a grandfathered situation, that I'm inclined to be okay with it. Otherwise, I would insist that it be on the farm plate area, because I'm getting actually pretty tired with buildings and so on that don't adhere to the farm plate recommendations, and things are going to be getting more firm in the community. But this has been in operation, as you say, the time that you've been operating it, you've had farm help there, and I'm trusting that that's the case. So in that aspect of it, I'm okay with it, especially since it's been in place and you're merely replacing that building with a stick built, which now adheres to well beyond what was in place prior to that with the 5-acre situation for mobiles. So, you know, I think, thank you very much for providing this information, and thank you for coming and speaking tonight.
Thank you.
Because it's very important, because we've had as I say, a considerable difficulty in the community with ad hoc operations and homes rented out on farm property that have got nothing to do with agriculture. So at any rate, I'm fine with that right now. Councillor Boot.
May I just ask of the applicant, please? Thank you.
Yes, please.
Thank you for this handout. I noticed that at the back, it shows in April a significant peak, which is the month that we're in now.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably, you have your farm employee helping you at this time of year.
All year round.
So, what is the timing as far as demolishing their place of living and reestablishing it?
It's a good question. I have no idea. I have to discuss with him as soon as I get the permit, find for him a substitute dwelling for a certain time, and work together for a solution.
Okay, so my concern, of course, would be that the employee will have a suitable living quarters while his place is, or his or her place is being demolished. And
The reason, if you read the variance, the main reason we ask for replacing the mobile home with a sustainable building is to accommodate much appropriate condition for the farmer worker. That's exactly the purpose.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mennel.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll have the motion, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. That the application for a development variance permit to vary section 8.1.7A of zoning bylaw 2004-50 to allow for a dwelling for farm help to be constructed outside of the farm home plate be approved.
Thank you. Have a mover, please. Counselor Booth. Counselor Peak, seconder. All in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried.
Next,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, we move on to item 9.5, which is a development permit application for 4917 Garchville Road.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the same property, a related application. This property is adjacent to Trout Creek Canyon, and as such, is located in the high hazard development permit area. So if the dwelling that we just discussed is going to be reconstructed in the area, there now is another level of regulation to go through. When the original mobile was placed, we did not have a high hazard development permit area. We now do. So the applicant has made the application. We have a geotechnical engineering report that confirms that locating the dwelling in this particular spot is safe. And an excerpt from that report shows in the little red area, this is the imminent failure area. This is the deep-seated slide that may happen if something were to occur. And the dwelling is more than 50 meters away from that zone. So the location is deemed safe by the geotechnical engineer, so the permit can be issued.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move ahead with that resolution.
Yes.
May I move the resolution?
Go ahead, please.
I will move the resolution.
Seconder, please. Thank you, Counselor Booth. All in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried. So we didn't read it, did we?
No.
No.
I'm trying not to butt in.
Yeah. Well, we were getting out of line there. Okay, are we all right with that, though?
Yes.
Okay. Because I think we will be making adjustments to how we handle the process next time around. Okay, the next phase of, okay, we're into 9.6.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. 9.6, development permit for 10001 Walters Road.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Platt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a similar development permit application in the high hazard zone for a property at the extreme south end of Walters Road. Again, it's designated as agriculture in our community plan, zoned agriculture. It's in the ALR. And this property was subject to a home site severance application a couple of years ago. It was approved by both council and the Agricultural Land Commission. The home site is this little black dotted line here. Again, because this subdivision is in, or crosses into the high hazard development permit area, a development permit is required prior to subdivision approval. So we do have, again, a geotechnical engineering report that suggests that the safe area shown there in green is actually outside the high hazard development permit area. So any buildings would have to be constructed in the green area, or further geotechnical oversight would be required. In this particular case, we're recommending that the DP be issued with a covenant on the property advising owners that they will have to develop in accordance with the report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from council?
That seems a reasonable request.
Yeah. So it's gone through the ALC?
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, it has.
Okay, so that's good. No questions? We'll have the motion, please. Thank you. Actually, we'll have the corporate officer read the motion and then we'll move and second it, please.
That the application for a development permit for Lot 1, Plan KAP 64877, located at 10001 Walters Road, be approved, subject to a restrictive covenant being registered on the title of the property to ensure the site is developed in accordance with the geotechnical report provided in support of this application.
Thank you. Have a mover, please. Councillor Holmes, seconder. Councillor Trainer. Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried. Go on to staff and other reports. Corporate officer?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. 10.1, we don't have any recommendations from Committee of the Whole. And the next two items, 10.2 and 10.3, if I could have separate recommendations for those two items to be deferred.
Okay. So, council, we need a motion to defer 10.2, please. Councillor Boot, thank you. Seconder. Councillor Holmes, all in favor? I gather this moves it ahead to the 27th, does it?
No specified date as yet. from
Should we
staff.
put a specified date in here, or does it matter? Councillor CAO.
I think, do you want to get the mic over to yourself?
Yeah.
You're sharing that one.
I think that the 27th might be too soon, and if we did put a date on it, should be perhaps the end of May to give us time to do the negotiating
Okay.
and further discussion.
Well, let's leave the date for now, then it's deferred to a future council meeting. Okay, thank you. So that's passed, correct? We carried that? Okay, now we're on to 10.3. Can I have a motion to the effect of deferral of that? Councillor Peak, Councillor Holmes, all in favor? Thank you, motion's carried, thank you. So we're on to 10.4.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is on the Thirst Dam and Reservoir Crown Land tenure, and I will refer this to Don Darling, our Director of Works and Utilities.
Mr. Darling.
Mr. Mayor, councilors, good evening. We've had a license of tenure on Thirst Reservoir for some years, and this license is for about 3.1 hectares, and it is on the south side of the reservoir. On the north side is the Summerland-Princeton Road, and so we need access to the south side in order to do maintenance, and mainly it's when we have low water. We go in there and remove logs that have, like sunk or whatever, and go in there and do that kind of maintenance. And so we have had notification from the province that the tenure, our license is expiring, and that we should apply for renewal. Normally we apply for 10 years, and we have had discussions with them because we feel it's long-term, and they've suggested that what we do is we apply for a 10-year license and then ask a request to make it for 30 years. And so that's what we're recommending that we do.
Thank you. So what's the exact expiry, do you know? Are we getting pretty tight?
I'm not sure when the expiry date is, but it hasn't expired as of yet.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Mr. Darling from council? No, no questions? Okay, it's pretty much standard. We can move ahead then.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The recommendation is that council authorize staff to acquire a provincial license of tenure over those parts of District Lots 207, 2072, 2073, 2068, excluding Plan A105, together with all of the unsurveyed Crown lands situated in the vicinity of Trout Creek, all of Kamloops Division AL District, and containing approximately 3.1 hectares for access to and the operation and maintenance of Thirst Dam and Reservoir. And that council authorize staff to request the province to extend the term of the license from the standard term of 10 years to a 30-year term.
Thank you. Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Trainer, Counselor Booth, all in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you. Okay, I think you're still up. Mr. Darling, 10.5.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, this is to do with the chlorinator for the agricultural water in the Prairie Valley area. The water treatment plant was commissioned in 2008, and in 2009 we did some water separation. We separated irrigation water from domestic water in the Prairie Valley area. And since that time, we have just been treating that agricultural water with chlorination. Staff has questioned the need to do that because there is a risk with chlorine gases. The main risk is that it's heavier than air. The chlorinator is right up at the top by the water treatment plant, and if we ever did have a leak, though it's unlikely, it could flow down into the residential areas of Prairie Valley and cause catastrophic events. So the main, what we're looking at doing is kind of a test on decommissioning the chlorinator. The main idea behind it is the biofilm that is created inside of the water or inside of the pipes, and that is the main concern because there's water that remains in the pipes all year round, and so there's no chlorination, and so that there may be a biofilm created. We have talked to our consultant, our water consultant, and he suggests that what we do is just a kind of a trial. So what we're going to do is we're going to shut down the irrigation chlorinator. We'll remove the chlorine toners from the site so there won't be any risk of any kind of a leak. We'll leave all equipment in place so that if we find that biofilm does build fairly quickly, then we will be able to either shock the pipes to get rid of the biofilm, or we will be able to start chlorination again. We inspect the water mains when the main break or repair occurs to monitor biofilm growth. We'll perform regular scheduled corrosion coupon testing in areas of concern, and what that is you can put in a testing and put in a small metal sliver, and how it corrodes tells you what kind of problems you may have. Any times that we think that there is a problem with biofilm, we'll shock the water and we'll document all inspections and testings for interior health. And of note, the water is not required to be chlorinated by interior health. We have already put notification on all the blue boxes out there saying that it's not safe for drink because it's just being chlorinated enough to deal with this biofilm issue. So we're just recommending that we stop the chlorination at this point in time, and this is just really a notification to council to let them know, because I'm sure people will be questioning what we're going to be doing. So,
Any questions of Superintendent Works? Councilor Booth?
Could you tell me what the process of shocking the water mains with chlorine means?
All it's doing is giving it more chlorine than is necessary, so that you will get rid of any bacteria or anything that's in the water. It's similar to when you start a pool up in the beginning of the year. You chlorinate very heavily, and then as the year goes on, then you can reduce it down and just maintain the level. So you're just giving a big dose of chlorine to get rid of any problems that you may have.
And if you have to shock the lines, then will the agricultural users be made aware of that? Will they get advance notice that this is occurring?
Yes, they will.
I'm just wondering about crops and how it might
Yeah,
affect
they'll be
crops.
notified, and we're going to be monitoring it very closely. So I don't see that it's going to get to a point where we're going to have an issue with the agricultural crops. But we just want to. We're worried about these toners up at the top of Prairie Valley and the risk that it poses, and so we're trying to deal with that. But we will still monitor, and we're leaving everything in place so we can, revert back if we have to.
Councilor Peak?
I'd like to say I'm pleased that staff is looking at risk assessment in all areas of our public works, and this is just one example. So thank you for bringing it forward so we better
Okay.
understand it.
Okay, I have some questions and comments. When we first started doing separation and when we brought when we bought the water treatment plant online, we went to a high level of treatment for domestic water, which meant that the chlorinator is still in there for the agricultural lines, right? Now, if I remember correctly, at the time, there was a stipulation by IHA that chlorination be continued in order to offset any potential for farm workers drinking from taps and outlets within the orchard or farm areas that was serviced by by the separated water, or the ag water. And so to hear that IHA is not concerned at all, I don't know how long they've not been concerned, but I remember, and this is before your time, I think, that they were concerned. And so I'm a little surprised. In addition to that, as an orchardist, I ran, every orchard had drip irrigation in it. And the beauty of being in Summerland was that you did not have any biofilm building up in your drippers. You had no concerns about plugging. You didn't have to go and individually shock your orchard with chlorine on a regular basis to ensure that everything was okay. I was able to leave lines in place with virtually no maintenance of those lines with respect to plugging the entire time that I was running. So to hear that IHA is, in my mind, changed, maybe they hadn't changed, maybe I'm unclear on that, but that's what I do remember from that time frame.
Yeah, Penticton doesn't chlorinate their irrigation water either. It was a decision, I think, that we made. I wasn't here at the time, but I think it was made by the district to chlorinate because of the biofilm. And, we just feel that the risk, to staff and to the public is, outweighed by the, use of the chlorine, so.
Okay, well, we're essentially receiving this report tonight anyway, so.
That's correct, unless you have comments about what we're planning on doing, and then.
Yep, no, thank you.
Yep.
I guess I just had concerns from the agricultural standpoint in terms of what it meant to the ag sector with respect to the chlorination was actually a benefit, and then it also meant that there was not necessarily any danger to anybody doing any drinking, but as you just mentioned, the level for biofilm remediation is not high enough for domestic chlorine use for drinking water anyway.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, it's not chlorinated to a drinking water standard. It's just chlorinated enough to deal with the biofilm right now.
Okay,
So
well, we're certainly going to have to be dealing with the ag sector because they're going to now have to change their practices in every orchard. And we are heavy to drip irrigation in this community. So it's going to be a factor for the orchardists and for the vineyard owners. So anyway, thank you very much. And I guess we need a recommendation that receive this report.
Yes, that council received this report for information purposes.
There's no motion required, or we're fine with that? Yeah, thank you. Okay, we're moving on to, thank you, Mr. Darling, I appreciate your report, and...
I got one more to go.
Oh, you have one more? Wait. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, the COG Event Society has applied for a temporary road closure for a single-lane alternating traffic on the Princeton-Summerland Road to hold a cycling event. It's going to start about 800 meters west of Bathville Road intersection, and it will run up to Fish Lake, and then they'll turn around and they'll come back. The reason we're bringing this forward to council is it is a first-time event, so as part of the policy, anytime there's a first-time road closure, it comes to council. Then once it's approved, then if they come back next year, that we can approve it as well. The setup will start at 6 a.m. and run until 11 a.m. Approximately 100 cyclists ranging in age from 12 to 18 will depart individually at 30-second intervals, riding west of Fish Lake, and will turn around and return on the finish line on Princeton-Summerland Road just to the west of the start line. They're going to have advisory signage. We talked to the RCMP and the fire department. They don't have any problems. We have proof that they are insured, and so we're recommending that this temporary road closure be approved. And if you're wondering what COG stands for, we asked, and it doesn't stand for anything. So I thought you might ask, so we asked, and they said it doesn't stand for anything. So
Yeah, I would come up with, cycling old guys.
that's what I was trying to figure out too. So,
But it's not the case, so. Okay, thank you very much, and we'll just move ahead and with that resolution.
Yeah, that the application for a temporary road closure requested by COG Event Society to hold the Hayman Classic Provincial Youth Road Cycling Championship time trial on Saturday, May 23rd from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. on the Princeton-Summerland Road be approved.
Thank you. The mover, please. Councillor Traynor, Councillor Peak, all in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried. Thank you. On to 10.7. Thank you, Mr. Darling.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, 10.7 is the parcel tax roll review panel. And there are to be 3 members of the council appointed to the 2015 parcel tax roll review panel.
Thank you. So we might as well go ahead.
And the recommendation is that councillors Richard Barkwell, Tony Boot, and Janet Peak be appointed.
Thank you. Any questions? Councillor Peak?
Well, I've never sat on this kind of committee before. I've done a fair tax commission, so it'll be an interesting
I think it's
feature.
if I'm not mistaken, our CFO, this is like a one-shot meeting, is it?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, so it's not 2 owners, but it will also teach Councillor Barkwell not to be away. So he's on the review panel. So, can I have a motion to mover, please? Councillor Peak? Councillor Trainer? All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Did I just repeat that? No. Okay. Okay, so we're on to 10.8.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. This is an application by a filming company, Bear Trucks, a skateboard company, to film on Giant's Head Mountain Park from May the 11th to the 13th from noon to 4 p.m. There is a recommendation.
Okay. Thank you. That's subject to the execution of conditional agreement, et cetera, as well? Yeah. Okay, any questions? CAO, I think, would be appropriate. Then. Any questions?
So this runs for 3 days and 4 hours per day, or, yes, 4 hours each day?
That's what we've
That's
been,
correct?
that's what we've been informed at this point, yes.
Okay.
And they will be pursuing insurance to cover this event for the time that they are available on the mountain.
That's why we've recommended that we enter an agreement with them, so that we wanted to ensure that council was in favor in principle first of all, and then we will ensure that we have a contract with them with the insurance and everything after.
Okay. I guess I have a question of Public Works. Any problems as you see?
No, I don't see any problems. We'd have a little bit of involvement as far as barricades and that, but other than that, we looked after by the people that are running.
Okay, because I see this as basically a filming situation in Summerland on Giant's Head to do with this particular type of event is a bonus. It moves that whole opportunity ahead and puts Summerland more on the map with respect to this type of event.
It'll be good advertising.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
It shows shot on location at the end of the
We hope so. So,
If
can I?
If I may just ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since we haven't dealt with very many of these, would staff subsequently develop a policy that would then apply in these kind of situations?
That's what we discussed at our managers group, that we would put it on the list to start looking into what, there's many policies, most municipalities that do have these kind of requests, have a policy in place, so it's something that we could look into.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, I think further to that though, Councillor Peak, if it's a one-off, there's no point in having a policy. But if it's something that you anticipate being more than
most
that, then you
definitely.
do develop a policy and you have a policy to follow for future events. Councillor Trainer?
I was just wondering, do we charge a fee at all for film productions in Summerland?
At this point in time, we don't have
No.
anything in place. That's usually what a policy
Yeah.
covers for that. So we've included in this resolution that we recover any costs that may be borne by the municipality because of it. And that's mainly because council can't be seen as providing assistance to a business. So we would, at this point in time, track any costs involved and be charging, and potentially, usually when there's fees involved, it's if it's like a feature film or something that's being filmed in your community and there's a lot of displacement.
Anything else? Any other questions, comments? CAO, I think we're covered. I give a motion to move ahead. Mover, Councillor Peak. Seconder, Councillor Holmes. All in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried. So we're in good shape there, CAO, as far as that goes? Good, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Darling, for your comments? We're into new business.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, item 11.1, attendance at the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Conference. And there's a recommendation that council discuss the upcoming Federation of Canadian Municipalities Conference and determine whether to send council representation in 2015.
Thank you. Okay, on page 130 of our agenda, there's some indications by the FCM as to what might be available for participants, and they are interesting. Now, corporate officer, do we have a policy around attendance of these sorts of functions?
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, actually, we do, and I apologize, I thought it was attached, so it's District Policy 100.6, and it refers to the three policies, UBCM, where the council automatically attends, and this one is listed that council may attend, but only by council resolution.
Okay, thank you. That's sort of what I thought, yeah. You know, I had, initially thought that being that the FCM is in Edmonton this year, that might be an opportunity. But I was thinking in terms of the mayor and perhaps one councillor attending. But I really would like to focus our attention on the UBCM this year, and I would like, because of the opportunities for the community at the UBCM to push our own agenda with respect to grant acquisitions, the ability to talk to ministers and staff of the provincial government. I think for this year we need to focus on that, and I think we also need to show some expense restraint, because regardless of whether it's in Edmonton or other city in Canada, many of the costs are very similar. So hotels and travel expenses and so on and so forth. So for this year, I would like to propose to council that we give the FCM a pass and focus our efforts on the UBCM this year. And I've not mentioned this to council, but we generally do attend UBCM, and the staff and our CAO prepare a considerable binder for us to use at those meetings and at the UBCM. And this year I'm going to ask each councillor to take a lead on a particular item that we may be moving forward with. So in the past it's not been quite as strong or intense from individual councillors, but I feel that our council, we're all very capable people, and there's no reason why, in conjunction with the CAO and other staff, that individual councillors can't press a case with specific ministers on a given topic. So that's it's not going to be just the mayor's show. It'll be councillors attending and participating in those meetings. So that's what I want to focus on this year. So I would recommend that we not pass this. Councillor Peak.
I appreciate your comments, and I'm certainly looking forward to going to UCBM. I'd like you to perhaps, and I appreciate comments that in terms of budget, that we're always careful with the funds that we use in terms of education, the mayors and council, and the movements we do to attend conferences. However, the opportunity for yourself as the mayor to attend in Edmonton might actually be a very valuable one, since it is this close this time round. So I'd like you to perhaps just give a little thought to that momentarily, for yourself to attend.
Trying to get me out of town for I can take a hint. No, I think I will pass this year.
Do we know where the next 2017 is being held?
I think it's in Tampa. Sorry.
Mayor.
Thank you.
It's Ottawa.
It is Ottawa. I see. Thank you. So what's council's wish on this? You've got my comments.
I don't want to force anybody to go, but it would make more sense for you to go this year in Edmonton than it would be, in terms of budgetary reasons, then
that's true.
Go to that next year in Ottawa. But it's either here or there.
Yeah, I think I'll give it a pass this year. Thank you. So
Okay, thank you
I've-
for the consideration, Mr.
I've been
Mayor.
to several FCMs over the years, and I'm looking forward over our 4-year term of attending once or twice over the next period of years, so. So we'll have the vote on that, please. Mover? Do we not need to do that?
Mr. Mayor, there is a alternate recommendation that council choose not to send any delegates to the FCM conference in 2015.
Okay. We'll take that motion, thank you. Seconder, Councillor Boot, thank you. All in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you very much. So, we're dealing with 11.2, Terms
Yes,
of
Mr.
Reference
Mayor.
Cultural Plan Task Force.
I'll just add, Mr. Mayor, that with my amendment of the regular council meeting agenda, I have attached the terms of reference for the Cultural Plan Task Force to that paperwork. It's just at the back
Okay.
for the proposed terms of reference for council review.
Okay, here we go.
And there are available copies at the back room for the public if they wish.
So does council have any discussion on this at this point? Councillor Holmes?
Sorry, I can't help myself, but under the objectives A, just a little typo, it should be understands the values rather than understand.
There's a word that covers that, Councillor Holmes, but I won't use it here. Anything else? No?
I was gonna say, Doug and I were sharing this, and I haven't looked at it as closely, but.
Oh, really? Sure. You don't
Yeah,
know?
because I don't have the, I just have this.
I could be picky too. The next bolded part, components required for completing its mandate include but are not limited? Thank you.
I think we're grinding here. Okay, that's fine. Yes, we have two editors at our behest here, so. So there's no, we've been over these terms and they will be available to the press, correct? As well as the members. So we should move ahead on this now. Get this straightened out. So the recommendation, I guess I'll just go ahead and read it, that the terms of reference for the Cultural Plan Task Force be adopted. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Holmes? Councillor Peak? Okay, is there any discussion of this at all? Anything you want to bring out to the public with respect to our terms of reference? I think, I'll say a few things if that's okay. That we are, it's a pretty comprehensive set of terms of reference. The task force has 12 months to complete this. We're hoping that, we're planning on no extensions to this. We will be seeing 2 interim reports, one in October and one in February, and that will be leading up to a final report at the end of May. So that will have the task completed by that time. And as was pointed out, we have, the task force will be responsible for developing a plan that primarily understands the values and perspectives of the whole community, promotes collaboration and partnerships, and that there are a number of components for completing this mandate, and there will be a number of public meetings, open houses, roundtables, other types of community participations. They'll be reviewing public submissions and summaries of participation events, reviewing existing research on the topic, and reviewing best practices, reviewing all progress reports, and they'll be providing comments to any consultants as they may be required. Just looking at membership, we will be mentioning that in a few minutes. Up to 15 members, is that correct, Corporate Officer?
Yes,
Yes, up to
15 members.
So we've got, and the term will be, as I said, to March 31st, 2016. And the members will be are going to be this evening appointed by council, and the term will be expiring at the completion of the cultural plan, or May 31st, 2016, whichever is earlier. Meeting procedures are set out here for observation, and the chairperson, and this is something that's going to run through our committees as well as this task force, is the chairperson in consultation with the vice chair, and we'll be preparing an agenda, and we'll be forwarding that to the admin department for public posting. So the committee or the task force can also establish subcommittees as needed, and those subcommittees are not required to be approved through council. They'll be handled by the task force itself. Staff support, technical direction, and secretariat assistance to the task force will be provided by the District of Summerland Development Services Department, and that will be the primary contact of staff for the task force. So, and the task force may invite staff representatives from any district department to attend task force public engagement meetings to provide clarity or information related to their departmental work plans. So it's going to be a comprehensive task force. Oh yeah, good point. I'm sort of scanning this, but all meetings regarding the task force activities will be open to the public. So that's important. And this is, you know, we've seen that being suggested that we move ahead on this, and it's being in concurrent with our development of our strategic plan, which has included a fourth pillar in this particular plan, which is arts and culture. And so this will be supporting our approach in our strategic plan. So we're looking forward to results from this task force, and we will be supporting it vis-a-vis our own strategic plan, and in turn it will reinforce our strategic plan as we go forward over the next several years. So with that, I think we should accept the terms of reference. So can I have a mover, please? Councillor Peak, Councillor Holmes. We have to get you in there.
I think we already did that.
Did we do that? Okay. So did we carry it as well? Pardon?
Just the vote.
Just the vote, okay. All in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried. So next up.
Next, Mr. Mayor, we have, staff has prepared the news release on the Cultural Plan Task Force. If you'd like to read that out.
Okay.
Right.
Just looking to see whether I have it here or not. I think I must have slipped it away.
Yeah.
Okay. So the press and the public will have access to the news release, and what I'm going to do right now is just list out the members that have been accepted by our in-camera meeting this morning, and the members will include the following: Barbara Thorburn, Denise Espout Post, Diane Hildebrand, Jane Curtin, Jean Evanshan, Ellie Van Nye, John Bubb, Margaret Holler, Sophia Jackson, Linda Bevan, Susan Gibbs, Betty Anaxinas, and Dan Dinsmore. The councillors that will be participating with the task force will be Councillor Holmes and Councillor Peak. So that's the our task force membership, and you can get to work. So are we good there?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have one last item for tonight's meeting. It is a motion provided by Councillor Doug Holmes on the Summerland Secondary School Parent Advisory Committee and the French immersion classes. I'll just refer that to
Okay.
Councillor Holmes.
Go ahead, Councillor Holmes.
Okay, In the current school year, there are 12 Summerland students transferred to SD 67 schools in Penticton, and 6 more students have moved from Summerland to Penticton. 29 Summerland youth are enrolled in the French school system in Penticton, and a number more attend private and faith-based schools in Penticton. And there are a few Summerland kids who go to Mount Boucherie School in West Kelowna. So that's currently more than 50 Summerland youth leave the community to go to school elsewhere. If SD 67 decides to place this additional late French immersion class in Penticton, there could be up to an additional 15 kids from Summerland leaving next year, up to another 15 the year after that, and another 15 the year after that. In 3 years, the number of Summerland kids attending school outside the community could double. Sorry. In 6 or 7 years, it could triple. So we could have 150 kids leaving Summerland every day to go to school elsewhere. Most of these would be high school kids. I know that's a worst case scenario, but it is possible. When you think 10 years ago, we had the entire French school system from K to 12 located here in Summerland. We had Glen First School, and we used to have kids coming to school in Summerland. Now the trend is shifting the other way. Kids are leaving Summerland to go to school elsewhere. 150 kids is the equivalent of 5 teaching positions and lots of money per capita funding for the school system. Coupled with the existing lack of capital investment in Summerland Secondary School, it doesn't take a great leap of imagination to foresee in a decade's time that people will start talking about closing down Summerland School. I appreciate this is a complicated matter, and there aren't any easy answers. I do understand the public school system is grossly underfunded. I respect and support the school board's intent to open French immersion to all students. The new policy is intended to benefit families like my own, as I'm one of those parents who has a child in French immersion and a younger child who couldn't get in due to a lack of space, and that's unfair. But it's also unfair so many parents and students feel they need to go elsewhere to obtain their education. It's unfair to the family, and it's unfair to the community, because it's not just about a student transferring schools, it's about a family transferring their allegiance to a community. It's about them transferring their participation in local activities and associations and transferring their spending in local shops. If anyone thinks this is a matter for the school board and isn't council's business, I'd say anything of such a magnitude that affects the economic and social well-being of a community is council's business. I understand in BC, everyone has a free choice of where to send their kids to school. What I don't understand is why do we want to make it so difficult for parents to choose to keep their kids here? I think we need to work together to bolster our schools and not sit back and watch them being undermined in the name of consumer choice. And it's for this reason I put forward this motion.
Okay, thank you. Do you like to read that recommendation, or like somebody else to read it? Or?
I don't mind. That council shares the concerns of the Summerland Secondary School Parent Advisory Committee and others in the community that the placement of a final grade 6 late French immersion class outside of Summerland would adversely affect long-term enrollment and class compositions in all Summerland schools, and that council believes children should not have to leave their community, siblings, friends to pursue their educational goals, and further that council requests School District 67 to heavily weigh local, social, and economic impacts when making decisions that will result in the removal of a large number of students from a small community.
Thank you. So you're asking for a letter with this recommendation to go to the school board? Yes. So we got a mover for the recommendation, please. Councillor Peak and Councillor Boot. Thank you. So all in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried. So we'll be sending a letter to the school board with this resolution?
Yes, I could prepare a letter to the school board with outlining the recommendations.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank Councillor Holmes, and I heartily approve of of his discussion and arguments in favor of having this letter sent.
No, I think, and I agree with Councillor Peak and certainly with what Councillor Holmes has said, because I think, this sort of decision can be made in a number of different areas, and it's can have extensive social and economic impacts in a community when there's centralization taking place or movement that affects a community. So it's decisions that may start out small and end up having larger impacts. So thank you very much, Councillor Holmes. So any bylaws covered up?
Not
None
tonight, Mr. Mayor.
tonight. So we're on to councillor reports. Councillor Trainer.
Thank you. Don't mind my cold. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been working with the Summerland Bike to Work Week Committee. Bike to Work Week is the last week of May from the 25th to the 29th, and registration is now open. You're invited to register as part of a team or as an individual, and you don't have to bike to work. You can bike to the grocery store, to have coffee with your friends, or to church. Basically, by signing up, you are pledging to bike everywhere that week. We've got lots of fun activities planned, including daily celebration stations, a film at Center Stage Theatre, and a wrap-up party. So you can watch for the story in this week's Summerland Review. Thanks to John for writing that. That'll be out on Thursday, and you can register at biketowork.ca/Summerland, and you can also find us on Facebook and share photos of yourself riding around town. So that's Bike to Work Week. And the second thing I wanted to talk about was Earth Week celebrations start this weekend in Summerland, and to kick it off on Sunday morning down in Trout Creek, our community association is hosting its 5th cleanup from 10 a.m. till 12 p.m. and everyone is welcome to join in. We usually collect about 30 bags of garbage from around Trout Creek and along Highway 97, and we have coffee and donuts afterwards to just celebrate. We may or may not be challenged by a couple other neighborhoods in Summerland, so I'm looking forward to that. We're going to see who can pick up the most trash, and all of the activities for Summerland Earth Week are available at facebook.com/Summerland Earth Week. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Does that mean that if you win this particular contest, it has some rather negative connotations with respect to that portion of the community, doesn't it? I'm quite sure that our area of town could not win this, but perhaps Trout Creek can.
We do, unfortunately.
You got the highway too.
Yeah.
So I attended the number of meetings that Mayor Waterman spoke of. Additionally, the chamber meeting on Thursday evening, April the 9th. I'm the chamber liaison, or the council liaison to the chamber. So regarding a couple of things that Councillor Trainer said, I have my bike in for spring maintenance. It's actually not my bike, but it is now. So tomorrow I am going to have my bike on the road. And as far as the Earth Week challenge goes, good try, Councillor Trainer. I no longer live in Trout Creek, so I will be working with my own current neighborhood to clean up the trash. I also want to thank everyone who put their names forward for the Cultural Plan Task Force. There was a lot of people involved with that, and lots of incredible resumes and reasons for wanting to be on the Cultural Task Force. You have a big job ahead of you, but we really appreciate the effort and the time that you're going to be putting into that, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Holmes.
I hate to keep talking about education, but I went to a bunch of education meetings, including the school board trustees with the mayor and councillors Boot and Barkwell and senior staff. And we had lots of fruitful discussions, including what the motion we were just talking about. And I'd just like to say that, the school board trustees, they do have their hearts in the right place. And, I hope they're not too mad at me. With Councillor Peak and I, we also went to the Ministry of Education and had a K-12 Innovation Forum in West Kelowna last Friday. And so Councillor Peak and I went representing Summerland and Linda Elfin and Wendy Heyer from the school district were also there, and Christine Petco from the chamber were there. And so we had the pleasure of listening to the Minister of Education speak to us about innovation, and we had some good discussions about the role of education and the community working together. I've attended two standing committee reviewing the committee structure. We've met twice, and I think we're making good progress. I also went to the BC Transit presentation at the RDOS board meeting, and I was struck by one RDOS director when they asked the BC Transit to consult with the schools when deciding their schedules, etc. And I always felt the high school demographic wasn't really ever taken into account when establishing the Summerland, both the Summerland schedule and the fees. And so I'm not sure if the transit survey that we're undertaking is underway yet, but I would like to ensure that we survey high school students when we do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Peak.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I want to let council know that the Sister City Committee has been gifted the equivalent of $3,000 from Toya Carl for use in the Japanese garden in Kin Park. And at the April 27th meeting, I will bring a resolution forwarded, a proposal for an option in that garden area. So I'll work with the committee and staff to see that come forward and achieving the wishes of our sister city with this wonderful gift from them as well. I neglected to mention at the last council meeting that as I was acting mayor, I did attend a swearing-in ceremony for new Canadians in Penticton, and that was quite a wonderful event. I attended this past weekend the Rotary Pioneer Tea, and they did an excellent presentation on the trail of the Okanagan, and I had occasion to speak to Dan Albus in regard to our applications for funding, to reinforce our applications for funding for the Garnet Valley applications that we have in hand. I won't bother mentioning any further about the Mount Boucherie High School, the BC Ed plan. I feel Councillor Holmes did a very good job of that, and I have been working on the select committee for committees as well. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Councillor Peak. With that, we now move to the public question period, where we've allotted time before adjournment for both the press and the public. Does the public have anything they'd like to say, to step up to the mic? Yes, sir. Please state your name, please, and go ahead. Sorry you had to wait so long, but that's the way it goes.
Oh, it's okay. I didn't have a question for a while. My name is Michael Mott. I live 2401 Highway 40. And while I was listening to things, I thought, hold it. I have a question about the road closure. That's the Summerland Princeton Highway for 5 hours on May 23rd. So I can't get to town, or how does that work?
Mr. Mayor, it's a one-lane closure.
Okay.
There'll be alternate traffic going to the other lane.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be delayed, but won't be blocked from coming to somewhere.
Oh, okay. Well, that's better. Secondly, I've had great experience now with using the landfill compost, and I'm using it, but I'm also breathing a lot of it, unfortunately. And while I did have an analysis of what it contained, they don't do an analysis or a study of the microconstituents, they call them, that go down our drains and do end up being used as part of the municipal landfill compost. I was just wondering if the Earth Day group had any sort of education about the pharmaceuticals and body care products that we wash down our drain and end up in our landfill compost.
Perhaps CAO would like to maybe comment, or just go ahead.
I would have to refer it back to the staff to get
I think we'll,
Margaret was willing to get up and make a.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Make a
If I
quick
may make a quick
comment,
comment about that?
Margaret, but I take your point. I think
well-
we'll let Margaret speak, but we take your comments, and our CAO will look into that. And if you would like to leave your name and phone number with our corporate officer,
Sure.
then we can get in touch with you. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
I just wanted to make a quick comment, since the, well, for this year as well as 2 years ago, the municipality has actually given us coupons to offer to Summerland residents who attend events at Summerland Earth Week for compost. And one of the things that we often get asked is by the people who actually receive the compost is the safety of it. So because of our Summerland composting use biosolids, what we simply say to them is that we don't recommend it to be applied to your vegetable gardens because of the biosolids, but we do feel it's quite safe on flower beds and that kind of thing where there's not human consumption. So that's not a technical explanation for this gentleman, but it is something that we do point out to people who do use Summerland compost, right?
Thank you. I do expect that there's a little bit more comprehensive information required. So if you'd leave your name, and then staff will do what they can to respond. Okay. Anybody else have any questions from the public? Anybody at all? Sir? Yes, sir.
My name is Graham Carner. I live at 19800 Garnet Valley Road. I just had a comment on the Summerland Reservoir chlorinator shutdown. Like you said, there's lots of agricultural growers out in Prairie Valley that use drip irrigation, and removing the chlorination will cause them to have to do the chlorination themselves. So while it sounds good, removing the chlorination from the reservoir, it is just going to start showing up in sheds around Prairie Valley instead. And the reservoir staff are likely more trained, and there's fewer people who have access to chlorine. So I just wanted to say that that's something worth considering when you make a decision on this.
Thank you very much for your comments. Margaret, more? Another comment? Go ahead, please.
This is a comment with respect to what Council Member Peak said about the receiving some funding for Kin Park. So I just wanted to make the comment that Kin Park had, a few years ago, had some substantial ecological changes made to remove the channelization of the creek.
Yeah.
And with that, to plant a number of species that were native species that would encourage habitat development for ducks, geese, that kind of thing. So I know that you'll probably do this as well, but I would encourage you to make sure that any monies that are spent as part of this wonderful gift from the sister city, that we consider the impact on this ecological restoration.
I think it's more the idea of an entranceway or an arbor or something like that, so it wouldn't be in that particular area, but I certainly take your comments to heart. And that's a great riparian zone. I've taken the grandkids down to it.
Right. It's one of the ones we're actually featuring on our riparian walk for Earth Week, so thank you very much.
Excellent.
Is there anybody else? Yes? Barbara?
So I was just reading, I'm Barbara Thorburn from Switchback Road, new member of this task force, which I'm really excited about. I was looking at the terms of reference, and I see that there is a quorum established, but there's no reference to decision-making. So is it by simple majority, or is it by consensus? Because I think with a large group of people, I think it would probably be important to say how decisions are made in terms of making the meetings run smoothly. I personally like consensus, but
There was a specification for quorum.
I couldn't see it.
The specification for quorum and anything that's not specified refers back to our procedures bylaw,
Right.
which would be majority.
there'll
So it'd be like a
majority vote as far as that goes? Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
for any votes that actually need to be
Yeah,
taken.
thank you.
Because I have been on municipal committees where it says decision by consensus, so I was
Well, I
just
think,
curious
you
about
know,
that.
if you want to do that properly, what you do in your discussion and your preamble to any vote, you try to achieve consensus so you know what's happening. And, you know, your best bet is to do a very good job on your
Okay, you
prep.
can come and give us a workshop on that.
No, you've got, I tell you, I looked at the makeup of your task force members, and I'm most impressed with the qualifications. And I know you have one member in Mr. Dinsmore who is a facilitator, and if he can't help you achieve what would be considered consensus before you have a vote, then
Okay. Yeah, I was just asking for
yeah.
clarification.
No, but I think that's
Thanks.
the process that you will do. Good discussion, especially at a task force level. You can, you know, prepare with all the information and consultations you will do. And then by the time you bring things forward for any kind of a majority decision, then you will know where you're at.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
I want to thank Barb for her question, because clarification is important. I certainly see that a good bit of the work that could be done by the task force may be by consensus, and the more major items
Sure.
would then
Yeah.
go to a vote and a resolution.
Great, thanks a lot.
Okay, John, any questions from the press?
Not at this point, I have a couple for
Oh, you do you? Okay, thank you. Okay, I guess we're a motion for adjournment. Have a motion, please. Counselor Peak, Counselor Holmes, all in favor? Thank you. So
Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you, staff.